We have a 2-month free trial subscription to Respondus Lockdown. This is an app in Schoology that enables you to prevent students when they're taking a test from going to other windows or opening up other apps or doing anything else other than taking the test. Several of you have been interested in this, and Schoology has just made this available. So we have a 2-month trial, and if you are at all interested in it, I would encourage you to try this out for the next 2 months and see what you think about it. One caveat with this is that currently Schoology does not implement this for tablets, the iOS. Okay, so if your students are on an iPad or an iPhone, this will not work. If you set up a test with Respondus and they try to open it on their iPad, they will not even be able to access the test at all. So they have to be using a laptop for this. Respondus itself does have an iOS app, but Schoology at this time has not implemented it. They will in the future. So if you're thinking that it might be something that you would want to do, even if it's not now and you want to wait until they have the iPad app, go ahead and try it out now anyway so that you can see how it's going to work. So let me walk you through the steps of what you're going to do if you want to use this. Okay, I have made a test here, and what you do is you just make your test the same way you usually make the test. Okay, there's nothing different as far as creating the test. I've had 3 questions here, a true, false. I've got one question here where I'm having the students go to a website just to demonstrate that you can do that or what the limitations are on doing that within Respondus. And then one where they can actually use an online calculator just to demonstrate what we can do. So I've made the test. Remember to be sure in the settings that you make it available and so on. Okay, so that everything is just like you would normally do with a test. Okay, so you've set up your test. Now on the left side you should see a new app over here called Lockdown Browser. Okay, click that and it's going to now pull up all of the tests that are in that class. Okay, so you have all of your tests here listed, and here's the one that I want the students to be able to lock down. Okay, lockdown browser not required. Click this little icon here, go to modify settings. Okay, here it says don't require Respondus Lockdown Browser. That means everything is just like it always has been. There's nothing different. But for this, require Respondus Lockdown. You could just stop with that, but let's check what some of these advanced settings are. First, lock students into the browser until the exam is completed. If they're taking the test in class, I would encourage you to do this. If you don't, if they try to exit the browser before they finish the exam, they will have to enter a reason, and then you can see why they did it. So it's not just, they can't just switch out of it and tell you and go back into it. Okay, but we'll leave that unchecked for now. Allow students to take this exam with an iPad. Remember, that is not functional right now. Allow them to access it with screen readers. In this case, we don't have students who fall in this category. This would be for students who need a test read orally to them. Enable calculator on the toolbar. Okay, this will allow them to have a calculator on their device that they can pull up. We'll say scientific calculator, and then we'll be able to demonstrate that. Enable printing if you want them to be able to print the test out, which you probably will not want to do. So we have our settings there. I'm going to click Save and Close. Okay. Now you notice that it has it down here, Respondus Trial Required. Okay. Now that's all you have to do as a teacher. Okay. That's it. Everything else is on the student end. So let me show you what it's going to look like from the student end. Now I'm logged in as a student, and here is this test. Okay, Respondus Trial. Okay, so the student will click on the test. Now, two things here. This says it requires Lockdown browser and it will launch in a new window. If you have not already downloaded Lockdown browser, here's where they would download it. Now, okay, the first time they take the test, they're going to need to do this because it has to be downloaded on their individual devices. They have to install it, which means, by the way, that they need to be able to have the administrative access to their own computer. So if you have students that don't have administrative access, like if they try to download an app and their parents have the password but haven't given it to their students, which is common, okay, where the parents don't want the students to be able to install things, okay, they're going to need to do this and get the password or have their parents download it for them. So anyway, the students would click here to download it, and then it will walk them through the steps to install it. Okay, I've already installed it on this computer, but it would walk them through the steps whether it's on a Mac or on Windows. It will show them, it will have them install it. So let's say they've already installed it. Then they would click Begin. Now what's happening is the browser, the Lockdown browser, this is a separate browser altogether. It is now opening, and it probably will come up with something like this. It will not run as long as the following applications are running. And so they would need to kill these applications. These are things that may be running in the background, but that would enable them to record the screen or to capture the screen or something like that. So it kills those processes. So they need to kill these applications, and then it will go on to open up the browser. If they don't see a window like this, then nothing to worry about. And this browser is now loading their test. So you notice that this browser is very minimized. There's not much up here. All they can do is do this. Right now I am pushing the keys on the Mac to switch to another app. They're not doing anything. There is no way, I can't close this. I can't do anything with this browser. I'm locked in. Okay, so we answered the questions. Now, here's a question where I wanted them to go to a site and find something. You can do that. It will open up a separate window to that site. However, it will only allow them to view what's on that actual page. They can't click any links that are on that page. So, if they try to, they get a notice up here, link is blocked. So if you're going to have them refer to a website, like go to a web page and find information, you have to be sure you're giving them the actual page where the information is on and not a place where they're going to have to click to something else to find something. So let's say here all I want is a headline from this page. So they read it, they get the information, they can close that window, and then type in their answer. Okay. Down here, use the calculator. Okay. Up here is the calculator. So they click on the calculator, and they can use their keys, or they can mouse over and click the numbers. But we'll say, okay, it's 5 plus 3 equals, and the answer is 8. You can copy that answer, then close the calculator, go down here, and paste the answer in. Okay. Then submit. Click submit like they always have, and it's going to ask them to confirm it like Schoology usually does. So after they've confirmed it, now it says you've been submitted, and here's where they would click to return to the original browser. This will take them out of the Lockdown browser. So everything restores back the way it was, okay, just like it was before they took the test. Okay, so that is how it's going to work. Now, I would encourage you, if you're going to try this out with your students, you really need to give them an ungraded test, trial test, before a real thing, because you want to be sure first that they know how to download the browser, and then that they know what's going to happen when they take it. Okay, don't spring this on your students with a real test that's going to have consequences. Okay, give them a practice test so that then they can try it out and make sure it works. And especially if they're going to need to get parental permission to install the browser, you'll need to give them a practice test a day ahead of time so that they can be sure and get it downloaded by their parents. So I would encourage you, like I say, try this out. We have this until the end of March. So try it out, see if it's going to be helpful for you, see if it's useful. And like I say, the iOS version is not available yet. It will be. So if that's a deal breaker for you, if you say, well, they have to be able to take it on iPads, okay, they will be able to at some point in the future. So go ahead and try it out anyway to see how it works and see if it's something that will be useful for you.